Hi everyone, it's Jess, aka Colouring Bumblebee, and I'm back today with another video for you. Today I am doing a video that I have planned and had recorded in my journal for the last couple of months, and this was completely inspired by the lovely Amanda at Amanja88 on YouTube. She did this video a few months ago, I think it was end of summer, someone like that, and she posed the question of what if I only had one colouring book per illustrator. And I thought that was such a fun idea to go through all of the illustrators in my colouring book collection and think, okay, if I could only have one book, which book would I keep? Or which book would I start with? If I was starting fresh, which book would I pick up first? That kind of idea. And I thought this is a really interesting idea. I invite any other colouring YouTubers to join in and make sure to tag Amanda, as it was her idea to start with. I've gone through and made a list of all of my illustrators in the collection which have at least 2 books by them. Amanda's was slightly different. She did, even if it was just one book by an illustrator, that was the book she picked. But I thought, just to make it a little bit simpler, I'd pick any that have more than one book. So I've done the list in alphabetical order, and we are starting with Kameliya Angelkova, and the book I picked was 50 Zodiac themed miniatures. Now I am doing this as a full book colour along on Instagram, where we are colouring all the zodiac signs in order, and I just love the variety of pages in this book. For me, a big reason why I love a colouring book is variety of pages. And this has so many different animals. I love that they're all circular in frames. You can have fun with bright bold colour palettes. Yeah, I just love this one. It would have been 50 mythical miniatures that I would have picked, but I've already completed that, so no sense picking one that I've already completed. So I picked this one instead. Zodiac or astrology themes is one of my favourite themes of colouring books. So you will see that pop up throughout the video today. There's another theme as well that I tend to gravitate towards. But this one is it's just adorable, and they are so quick and easy to colour. Great palette cleansers in between your more complicated pages. We're also doing the chibi Chinese zodiacs in order as well. So I've done a few here. I'm a little bit behind, but I'm getting there. So yeah, if I was starting my Kameliya Angelkova from scratch, I would pick this one up first, I think. So that is the book I'd pick from, put my colour palettes back in there. That's the book I'd pick from Kameliya Angelkova, 50 Zodiac themed miniatures. Next artist I have is Fabiana Attanasio. Sticking with the Zodiac theme, I have Cosmic Spirit. This one was my favourite mythographic for a long time, and it has been overtaken now. But I still absolutely love this one. I have coloured a fair few pages in here. But again, I love a Zodiac theme, and I also love a tarot themed book, and this has both. So I like the variety of images. I like that there's kind of repeating elements, like you've got the zodiac signs and the names of each of them, and you can create cohesion that way but still have them looking really fun and different. You can do really cool colour palettes with these books. Yeah, this book may get overtaken by the next one that she's got coming out next year, which is fairy folklore, fairy something fairy. She's had a couple of fairy ones, but this one still reigns as my favourite from Fabiana's. And you will find in this collection, most books are my favourite book by that illustrator, but some of them aren't, and I'll explain why when I get to them. Because even though something might be my favourite, I may pick a different book for the pure variety of pages within them, because that is definitely something that I look for and value with my colouring books. So yeah, starting again. I think this might have been even my first, or one of my first mythographic books from Fabiana, so if I start my collection again, I would start with this one. So that was my pick for Fabiana Attanasio, Mythographic Cosmic Spirit. Next up I've got Johanna Basford, and I picked Rooms of Wonder. And I think in my rank rate this was my favourite. Again, I like the variety in this book, and I have coloured a few pages, but you've got really detailed double page spreads that would take a long time, small victory style pages, intricate scenes, like repeating patterns, like there's just everything in this book. I absolutely adore it. One of the best that Johanna's ever done. That was the most recent page I completed. Took forever. Glad I don't have to do that again. Yeah, this is one that I could easily see myself colouring every single page in a book, which is another factor for me. If I could actually want to and feel inspired to colour every single page in that book, that was the book that I was picking. I like how often you have these matching double page spreads, so you can use lovely matching colour palettes. I always enjoy doing that. And lots of bright fun colours to experiment with in this book. I was tempted to pick Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, not Butterfly, but ended up going for this one instead. I just like it that little bit more. And if I only had one Johanna book, I would be happy that it was this one. So that was my pick for Johanna Basford, Rooms of Wonder. Next artist is Rita Berman, and I picked my favourite, Minor Ice Dirt Europa. I think I got this one and the Seasons book at the same time when I started my collection, because maybe it's the fact that I do live in Europe, technically-ish, the UK. It's in Europe, but not the European Union. Maybe that's why I feel drawn to this book, but it just maintains my favourite. I was umming and ahhing whether I'd pick the new one, but there's quite a few pages in there, like all the note pages, which I don't care for them. Whereas I could easily colour every single page in this, and I'd love to see it completed one day. And this was one of the few colouring books I had when I started my colouring journey, so it received a lot of love, and it was great to colour a bunch of different pages, play around with lots of different colour palettes. And these are two of my favourite pages I've ever coloured. I just think they turned out so well, and they're pretty early on in my colouring journey, which is interesting. But some old pages can still be loved so much. These are probably the only two where I'm like, I do not care for them, but I'd still colour them, still get them done. Yeah, I need to come back and show this one some more love. Coloured it a lot in 2022 and 2023, and not so much since then. Another two that I love, and these two, just fun bright colour schemes. And again, great variety. I do have some like seasonal pages, like a couple of wintry ones, a couple of autumnal ones, which again, that's something that I like to see in my colouring books, something that I could colour all year round. But that is Minor Ice Dirt Europa, my pick for Rita Berman. Next artist, Joseph Catimbang. Now this one was really, really hard. I was between 3 books for this, but I ended up picking Magical Earth. And why? I don't know why. I fell in love with this book the moment I saw it, and it still is a firm favourite. And again, it's a book that I could easily colour every single page and know that I will enjoy the process. The paper in this one is like extra thick as well. I've done a couple of pages in here. There's so many amazing ones that I cannot wait to get to. I'm in an ahhing whether I'd pick this one or Wild Summer or Dragon Spell, but I had a flip through of all 3 and decided, okay, this is the one where I do feel inspired by every page. Whereas the other two, there was a few pages where, yes, on the whole, I love the book, but there was a few pages where I was like, no, I just keep coming back to this one. And oh, my pages are starting to fall out the book a little bit, sadly. I may need to do something to help rectify that. But yeah, every page I've coloured in here I've really enjoyed. And it's one that I can just have fun with colour, because they're different magical settings. One that I definitely need to come back to. And if I just had this one, I would be happy. I do love Dragonspell, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it, but I just slightly prefer this one for the variety. I like the variety of animals, I like a variety. Whereas dragons, they are fun, but I like colouring horses and fairies and little fantasy creatures as well. That one's so cool, I love that one. So that's why I ended up picking this one. That was my pick for Joseph Catimbang, Mythographic Magical Earth. Up next, I've got Melpomeni Chatzipanagiotou, and again, it's an oldie, but a favourite, Circle of Life. I have no words for this book. It's something about the circular images are just so lovely to colour. Melpomeni's art style is stunning, and you've got lots of line work, which makes the shading process quite easy. But I like how there's so many pages in this book. I think there's like close to 100 or over 100, around 100. But again, is a book that I've really neglected since getting the other newer books. I also really, really love Enchanted Earth. But I think if it was double-sided, I might like it a little bit more, because you have more pages to colour. That's what I love about this book. The pages are stunning, and you've got double the amount. Like, yes, it's nice to be able to use alcohol markers for backgrounds sometimes, but I don't think Melpomeni's artwork necessarily needs alcohol markers, because they're so intricate. It's quite hard to use alcohol markers on such intricate line work. I tend to just use them for backgrounds to make that a little bit quicker, but yeah, I just love this one, and I think it's a lot of people's favourites actually, even though we've had 3 other books since. I do love the Sound of Flower fantasy, that could take over, but we will see. Started that one ages and ages ago, just did the background one day, it was fun. Yeah, it is hard picking just one from an artist. Some artists were easier than others, that's for sure. This one was pretty easy for me though. Again, I could colour every single page and have a blast doing it. And there's such a great variety of images and scenery that you wouldn't get bored if you even just coloured in that one book alone. So that's Circle of Life, my pick from Melpomeni Chatzipanagiotou. Next, I've got Colouring Heavens. This was one of the harder ones because Colouring Heavens in nature, Colouring Heavens in nature, I have such a wide variety of artists, so it's hard picking just one artist over another. But I ended up going for my favourite, which is the Alice in Wonderland special. And this would be one that I could see myself completing. I was very, very close to picking the Kanoko Egusa Enchanted Animals special, but then I was like, oh, some of the pages are in Leon's journey, so it's not like they're all exclusive like this one is. I can't find these images anywhere else pretty much. And again, this is a book I'd love to complete one day, because I love every single page in it. It's just a lot of fun. You've got repeating characters, which makes things a little bit easier, but then lots of fun different pages that you can really just go crazy with colour palettes. Look at that bee. Oh my gosh, I've never noticed that bee before. He's so cute. Love it. Yeah, there was a lot of A lot of colouring heavens that I do really love. Like, I really love Tiny Ear. I could have picked that with all the shelves. I could have picked the World's Best Colouring Heaven. But again, like, I didn't love every page in it, whereas this one, I would colour every page. If I just had one colouring heaven and it was this one, I would be very, very happy. I would. I'd love to see another colouring heaven by this artist in this same art style. They did another one, but it wasn't nearly as good as this. That is my pick for the Colour in Heaven Alice in Wonderland special by Eva Nikunen. Then, as I had Colouring Heaven, I also squeezed in Colouring Heaven Pocket as a separate category, and I had to pick the Fairy Tales Pocket Edition by Selina Fenech. Again, really hard to choose just one. It was between this and Fantasy Animals by Hanna Karlzon, but I thought Fantasy Animals I'm picking because it's now out of stock. You couldn't get it again, but then again, so is this one. And this is a project book, and one that I do want to complete, and one that I've really enjoyed colouring in. It's probably my most coloured colouring heaven, so it would have been wrong to not pick this one, I think. But the Hanna Karlzon Fantasy Animals is definitely high up there as well. Maybe when I complete this, that would be the one that would take over. But yeah, I just love every page in here. Fairy tales is a theme that you will see throughout this video of colouring book artists that I just love what they do. Got that one on the go at the moment. Yeah, almost 50% completed. Once that page is done, that will be 50% of this book all coloured in. 50% left to go. Yeah, I loved every second of colouring this. So that's my pick for the Colour in Heaven Pocket Editions, Fairy Tales by Selina Fenech. Next artist is Camilla de Erico, and I had to pick my first ever one that I received, which is Flights of Fancy. This is the book that made me fall in love with Camilla de Erico. And have I picked it because of the amount of bees? Yes, I have. As my name would suggest, I do love colouring bumblebees, and this book has so many of them, but also so many other fun pages to colour of different winged creatures, lots of birds, but not too many birds that it's like overwhelming. But yeah, pages like that with all the bees, I just love, love, love. Owls, just adorable. And Camilla's art style is just gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. For me, it was between this one and the Catitude book, as I am a big cat person, but I thought this one for the variety of animals, like penguins, little wee birds. I mean, birds, bumblebees, so many bees. This is the point in the book where we have a lot of bees. Butterflies and dragonflies and little wasps. I've never noticed this guy before, a little winged cat. That is so cute. Yeah, really, really love this one. Bit more of a variety than the Catitude one. But yeah, just so many adorable pages that I cannot wait to colour. I could easily colour every page in this book. Oh, missed a page there. Oh, that one's stunning. Here's the one I have done. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Look at that one, the bee on the broom. Yeah, if I had to pick just one, it would be this one. And in fact, it was this one. This was my first one. So that's my pick for Camilla de Erico, Flights of Fancy. Next illustrator is Diane Dufour, another hard one, but I picked Noonal Therapy. I can't explain it, I just love the bears. And I know I often say I like the variety, but even though they're all bears, I think the variety of situations they're in is what makes it interesting. I'm not so much a fan of the close-up portraits, but I still think they're very cute and look like fun to colour. But I just love the scenes that they're in. I do love Ball de Poix, and I love the new Dragons du Monde. But this one just, it's something about it, it captures my heart. I love how bright and fun you can make them. The bear's expressions are also cute. Oh, just noticed that's a nice Christmas one. I'm making note of all books that have Christmas pages in so I can share it in a video. Yeah, Boudoir, because it goes through the seasons, some of the elements are kind of repeat. There's lots of similar things going on, and I think in terms of the scenes they're in, this one has more variety. I don't even know if that makes sense, but like jungle, you got some snowy ones, like Arctic themes. You got cozy inside ones and ones at sea, baking. Yeah, I love these bears. I love them. And it was definitely between this one and Boudoir because of the amount of pages in the books. It's like double the pages, double the fun. And I love the small size of them as well. That is another big factor for me. I love these underwater mermaid ones. Cherry tree, so cute. Yeah, I feel like this one is more, because it's filled with bears, it's more concentrated on the activities and the situations they're in, whereas Boudoir is more concentrated on the animals themselves, is what I feel like, and that's why I picked this one, for the variety of scenes and imagery on the pages. Oh, eating his little sandwich on the park bench. Absolutely adorable. So yeah, I've done a few in here, nowhere near enough. But if I just had this one, I would be very, very happy. These are all note cards at the end with the same images that you find throughout. That was my pick for Diane Dufour, Nuno Therapy. The next artist is Leila Duly. Again, quite difficult, but I ended up picking Walk in the Woods. And it was between this one or Floribunda Year. But I don't know why, I'm just drawn to this one. Maybe it's because this book's a little bit more autumnal to me, and right now we're in autumn and I'm really loving all the autumn pages. But I like the variety. I like how you've got some little wreaths, some little tiny ones, big full page scenes, and they're not all just flowers. There's some other objects in there as well. You've got animals, you've got mushrooms and different scenes. I like the scenes, like these ones. You still have lots of pages with just flowers on, but they're still equally stunning. And I do think this is one you could colour throughout the year, even though I do get a bit of an autumnal vibe. I'm sure there's pages to fit all the seasons if you look hard enough. I love that one, the little ladybirds. I love all these tiny little ones. They're just quick wins. And yeah, I like seeing all the animals in these books. I'd love to see maybe a whole book by Leila Duly focused on animals, with the animals being the star of the show and then the flowers being more in the background. I think that would be a really fun book from her. Yeah, I love these little vignettes here. They are so stunning. And the mushrooms, I like colouring mushrooms a lot. Yeah, it's just got a lot of things that I love to colour. Mushrooms, berries, woodland animals. It's a win for me. So that is my pick from Leila Duly, Walk in the Woods. The next artist I have is Kanoko Egusa. This was an easy pick for me, and it is Leon's Journey. I just adore this book. And again, a book with great variety of scenes and levels of detail on the pages. That's the only one I've done so far. But I love Leon. I love how there's other animals as well, not just cats, even though I love colouring cats. I like my variety. Take a shot every time I say variety in this video. Please don't. It might be dangerous. Yeah, this one is my favourite. I fell in love with it when Kanoko was sharing her progress updates on Instagram, and then as soon as it was released I ordered it immediately and fell in love when it arrived, and it firmly placed itself at the top of my favourites list from Kanoko Egusa. It's probably one of my favourite book releases of the year. I think I might do a video on that. Favourite book releases or new books to me that I've bought this past year. But yeah, this is a book that goes through the 4 seasons, so no matter what time of year it is, you'll always find something to inspire you to colour. Still need to colour that pumpkin cart page. It's a buddy colour. And the fact that you've got really busy full page scenes, little small victory pages, ones in little boxes. I love these pages of the individual boxes. I think it's such a clever idea to represent different scenes going on with a similar theme. Nice advent page there. And there we go, towards the end of the book we get into the ones which kind of represent all 4 seasons, which I do love. But that is my one book that I would pick from Kanoko Egusa, Leon's Journey. Next artist is Eriy, and I was very close to picking 2 books and cheating and picking one Romantic Country, one from the World series, but I thought no, be good, just pick one, and that one would be the Fairy Tales book. This is a project book with Meg and Johanna and Veronica. We are colouring in this book. Started with just Meg and I, and we have coloured a few, but I love the Fairy Tales theme. I love every single page in here. I like how you've got single pages, big double page spreads that take more time to colour, more intricate and detailed pages, and then opposite some more simpler pages. Again, lovely variety, and you can play around with lots of fun colour schemes. The Fairy Tales theme lends itself really well to lots of bright colours, and you've got all these fun characters. I like how often the Fairy Tales is like a two single pages but matching in theme, so you can use some matching colour schemes. Do you like doing that? Yeah, if I was being naughty and picking a Romantic Country book, it would be the 3rd tale. That is my absolute favourite by far. I think it's got the perfect level of detail mixed with simpler things, whereas the 2nd tale is more detailed and the 1st tale is less detailed. The 3rd one is right in the middle. It's like Goldilocks. It's just right. Yeah, still so many pages in here to colour, but this is definitely the one Eriy book that I would pick to have in my collection. That is Eriy's World Fairy Tales colouring book. Next I've got Teresa Goodridge. Now I only actually have 2 Teresa Goodridge books in my collection, and the one I'd pick is Autumn Charm because I love it. Because I love it, and I think it's important to have a nice seasonal autumn book in your collection. And even though I'd only colour this 3 months out of the year, I still absolutely adore it. I'm working on that page at the moment. Yeah, the other one I have is Gnome Sweet Gnome. And I just haven't felt as drawn to that one recently, but this one I still feel drawn to and still absolutely love. You've got some Halloween pages, Thanksgiving if you're in America. Just a lovely, lovely variety of different autumnal themed scenes. There is another Teresa Goodridge book that I've got my eye on, but I think I'm going to be good and save it till the new year. I think it's Cozy Corners it's called. Looks really cool. But yeah, for now this is the one that I would pick to have in my collection. Out of all of the 2 Teresa Goodridge books I have, she has plenty more others, but these are the 2. And that, one of my favourite pages ever. So cute. There we go, that is the book I would pick from Teresa Goodridge, Autumn Charm. Okay, we do have Lexi who has joined us now. If you do hear the odd meow, that is why. She is on my lap. We will see how long she lasts. Usually not too long. But the next artist I have is Good Wives and Warriors, and the book I picked was Escape to Oz. I just This one to me is the least kind of crazy. There's some kind of crazy, weirdly patterny pages in the other two books, the Shakespeare and Wonderland book I have. I probably prefer the story of Escape to Wonderland with Alice, but this one, I just think the pages are a lot more colourable for me, and that's why this one is my favourite. I also like the fact that this one has white paper, whereas the other two is very yellow toned paper. I love that double page spread scene. There's only one page in here where I'm like, not a fan of that, but that's one out of the whole book rather than several. And it seems very out of place to me, but I do love all the florals in this book. Lots of poppies, which are cool, lots of animals, some buildings. Again, lovely variety in this one. We're getting into the page of ones I don't like particularly, and it is to do with these monkeys. Some very weird monkeys. What's that? What is that? No thank you. I have no interest in colouring those, but the rest I do really enjoy, and I think it would be great to see some more coloured in here because I've done none so far, but I will get there. I will get there. But this is the book that I'd pick from Good Wives and Warriors, the Escape to Oz colouring book. Next is R.J. Hampson. Again, a very hard decision to make because I love all of his books, but I had to pick Hide and Seek. This is just my favourite. It still is. It was released last year, and I like the variety in this book. I like the theme of the idea of animals hiding. I think it's really cute, really creative. You've got a really nice mixture of different animals, different types of scenes, more complicated, more simpler ones. I would pick Lost and Found, but this one has slightly edged out in terms of my favourite over Lost and Found. And I am very close to completing that one, so it would seem silly to only have that if I've almost completed it. We've got some lovely returning characters that you've seen in other books. Some lovely seasonal ones as well. I did this one for Mermaid this year. Nice Australian one. Yeah, just a great variety of lots of different animals and characters, and is firmly my favourite out of all of them. And we move into the black background ones, so I won't flip through those. But that is my pick for an R.J. Hampson book, Hide and Seek. Next I've got Anna Jarén. I've only got 2 books by her, and the one that I picked was Astrology, just because I prefer the theme of astrology over goddesses. They are both super beautiful, but because goddess, every single one is a portrait, whereas there's lots of animals in here. I don't really like these mandala-y type ones, but these are just stunning. Lots of cute animals, which I love to colour. A nice variety of more detailed and more simpler ones. I do have some portraits in here, but not every single page, which I do find a bit intimidating at times. And there's just a larger variety of pages that I love in this one compared to the goddess one. It is definitely a very close second. I like to have them both. Love that tiger one. The Chinese zodiacs, my favourite, the Year of the Rabbit. Lots of great pages in here for the Chinese animals, the Chinese zodiac. And then towards the back of the book you have some others. You've got the elements, different elements of the world, with some cool pages here. And then you've also got representation of other zodiacs that you're not as familiar with, like the Celtic and the Egyptian and the Mayan, Native American zodiac. So these are really cool, just for kind of information in a way. So that is the book. Oh, there goes Lexi. She lasted all of 3 books. But that is my pick by Anna Jarén, the astrology colouring book. Next up I've got Hanna Karlzon. Again, I was tempted to be cheeky and pick 2, one from the Tales From series, one from her older series, but I went no, just pick one. And I picked my favourite, which is Tales from the Forest Kingdom. I just think this one's very colourable. Some of her books, there are pages where I'm like, not so much a fan of that one, but this one I do like and would colour every single page. And that is important for me. I try to buy books where I would colour the vast majority of pages in there. If there's 1 or 2 that I don't like, I still get it. But this one I do love every page. There's a lovely... I like the theme as well. Any kind of woodland theme, forest theme is a big plus for me. You've got a nice selection of animals in this book. Lots of fairies, which I do love colouring fairies. But I have a feeling it might be overtaken by the new book coming out next year, Tales from the Castle Ruins. That sounds amazing. I think it's going to be really, really good. Yeah, that is my pick by Hanna Karlzon. Tales from the Forest Kingdom is my one book that I would have. Next I've got Christine Karron. Again, really hard to pick. I ended up going for Little Folk. It was between this one and Wildflower Folk. I don't know what it is about Wondrous, but there's a few pages in there which I'm not as drawn to. And as I was flipping through, I was like, this one, it just has my heart. Turns out I really like the little characters, like the younger looking characters. I like the scenes that they're in and all the bits going on around them. You've got a lot more pages with more stuff going on rather than just up close portraits, which I do like about this. Like on this one, you've got a little dragon there. This one has a nice umbrella and book. Lots of fairies in this one as well, which I like to colour. I think they are super, super pretty. Honestly, you ask me in a few months' time, I could easily pick Wildflower Folk. And who knows, if I've coloured a few pages in Wondrous Folk, maybe I prefer that one. But at the moment, this is the one that is catching my eye. I just really, really love it. Yeah, there's quite a lot of detailed pages in here, which I really like. I have gone through and sort of recorded down how many pages in the book are from which of her previous books. And I think this one has a lot from Fairy and Fantasy 5. That seems to be the main feature in this book. Look at that monkey, so cute. Yeah, I love all the expressions on them. So fun. And they're all in the same style, but they all look different. Christine has just such a great talent of drawing a variety of different faces. Super, super talented. Honestly, I was happy just having Wildflower Folk in my collection. I was really looking forward to getting this one, so I did pick it up. And oh, look at that one. So cute with the little animals. There we go. That is the book I picked from Christine Karron, Little Folk. Next I've got Veronica Kolinska. I was so close between 2 of her books, but the one I picked was Mythical Beasts. I fell in love with this when I first saw it, and it made me fall in love with Veronica as an artist. I love the intricacy in this book and the details of it. So the book I was close to also picking was Romantasy. Almost the opposite way. Like, I like how clear and clean all the line work is. You've got some big bold shapes, whereas this one's a little more detailed and refined. But oh, I really loved every page I coloured in here, which is only 2, but I really loved them. I do need to colour some more in here. I love mythical creatures as a theme. I think they are just a lot of fun to colour. Probably one of my favourite pages I've ever done, the Pegasus page. Yeah, I think if I was starting my collection again, I would pick this one over Romantasy to start with for just one, and then quickly pick up Romantasy later because I do really love that one as well. I think flipping through, there was a few in Romantasy where I was like, eh, whereas this one, there was more that I really loved. There's some slightly creepier ones in here as well, some really random ones like that one. Yeah, if I had to just pick one, it would be this one. Oh, it's such a shame I haven't coloured more. There we go. That is the book I'd pick from Veronica Kolinska, Mythographic Mythical Beasts. The next artist I have is Emelie Lidehäll Öberg. This was an easy decision for me. It's Fairy Tales and Folklore. Such a chonky book, such amazing paper, such a amazing story to get this book republished with the petition from Colour with Claire. It just feels special to have this. The fact that, yes, I did have a part in getting this book again because I signed the petition. And it's amazing that this has kind of sparked Emelie's kind of resurgence to, or return to, the colouring book community, as she has another book coming out next year, which I'm really looking forward to seeing what that's like. But I love all of the different sort of seasonal themed pages in here. There's a really nice variety of seasons. Like, you got some summery ones, some spring ones, wintry ones like that one, more autumnal ones. You can really find something any time of year. Then others which are less specific to a time of year. Or ones like this where you could change up the colour palette depending on the season. I really love her way of drawing characters. I think they are such a great idea to use the kind of fluffy outline for them. And I do love fairy tales, but I just love this one a little bit more. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but I just do. And I think a lot of us probably feel that way. And it's got so many pages in this book. I think it's over 100. So that also makes it a favourite in a way because of the amount of pages in it. It means that you will have a lot of colouring time just in this one book, with so many gorgeous pages to choose from. Really great variety of animals, lots of florals, portraits and other kind of magical objects. And you've got that subtle fairy tale theme going throughout, which I always love. It's so thick. I keep thinking I'm flipping 2 pages at once, but I'm not. And then we have one stunningly gorgeous double page spread right at the back there. And that is everything in this book. So that's my favourite book, or the book that I would pick from Emelie Lidehäll Öberg. That is Fairy Tales and Folklore. So I've been good up to this point and only picked one book per illustrator, but this was my one exception, and it's Lulu Mayo. I had to pick one from the Million series and then one of her other books, so in this format. So I had to include Kawaii Taro because I love this book. It's my favourite from Lulu Mayo. And then this was my favourite of the Million series. So I'll start flipping through this one. It would have felt wrong to not include both of these. And they're different published books. They're by different publishers, so it counts, maybe? This one I like. I much prefer Lulu Mayo's books where she has a large variety of different animals rather than ones which are specific to one kind of animal, like a million kittens or puppies. I like how you've got things from chickens to polar bears to whales to little piggies and koalas and cats and dog, everything in here. A little bit of everything in here. And lots of gorgeous florals I love to colour, some fun food objects. I just think if this was the only one I had from Lulu Mayo, I would be very, very happy. and quite content in filling this up with lots of colour. But equally, I had to pick one from the other publisher. I just had to include Kawaii Taro. So that is one that I would pick from Lulu Mayo, Million Baby Animals. And Kawaii Taro, again, love this book. You see it a lot because I am trying to complete it. And that is half the reason why I kind of slightly cheated on this one, because I am trying my best to complete it by the end of next year. You see it pop up a lot on the channel, but I always love flipping through it and just admiring the different artworks. Again, large variety of animals, large variety of sort of scenes they're in. You've got these big cards at the front, which are nice and detailed. And then you have these smaller ones, and even smaller than that, the nice, quick, easy wins. And as you can see, lots of bright colours can be used in this book, and lots of fun colours. Like, it doesn't have to be too realistic. You can have a bright pink bunny and it looks absolutely fine with Lulu Mayo's art style. I do like using my limited palettes in here. So that's another plus for this book. Yeah, this is the only one I'm cheating on. And it's my rules, my video, so whatever. So that is the other one I picked by Lulu Mayo, the Kawaii Taro colouring book. The next artist I have is Mojiduo, which is one of the cute and cozy illustrators, and I picked Fuzzy Meowvies 2. I have fallen in love with Mojiduo as an artist. They've got a great presence on social media, on Instagram, and I love their Fuzzy Meowvie books. The first two, the third one I wasn't so much a fan of because it wasn't really movies, it was more TV shows. This one I preferred because of the thinner line work, and I think I just liked more of the movies that were represented in here, and I was more familiar with them. I'm flipping through here already, I know lots of these, lots of Disney cute ones as well represented, lots of films from my childhood. So it's a lovely nostalgic book for me, and I just love the style of this and how they've stylised all the pages and all the films to fit the cute cat theme they've got going on. Yeah, if I had to pick one out of the two I have, it would be this one. But ask me another day and I may flip through the first one and think, okay, I prefer that one now. But that is my pick from Mojiduo, Fuzzy Meowvies 2. Next I've got Natsuki, and this was another fairly easy pick for me, and it was the Secret Invitation colouring book. The other one I have is the Searching for Bell of Happiness, and this one's definitely my favourite. I'm working on this as a bit of a project with Jana, a Colour and Create with Jana. We're going through in order. So we are up to this spread to finish for November. But I like how you have these stories, so you can have nice cohesive colour palettes going through, but then you change it up and have a new set of characters and a new story to go through. So we've got bunnies featured in this one, we had mice in the first one. In this one we've got little chipmunks. I really like colouring fruit and berries and food, and this book has a lot of it. Whereas the other one is just full of a lot of cats. This one's got a cat in this story, and even a dog. I like repeating elements, but I like the fact that it's split into these different stories, that you can have fun playing with the different colours for the animals. Elephants in that one. Meerkat, my favourite animal. So it's always great to see a meerkat in a book. And then this final story is when they actually celebrate the party here with all of the animals. So much fun. It lends itself to such bright colours for the party atmosphere. And yeah, if I just had one, I would be more than happy to just have this one. That is my pick from Natsuki, the Secret Invitation colouring book. Next artist I have is Morgan O'Brien. And I think you might guess what one I've picked for this one. It is A Big Adventure. It is a project book that I am working on, and we are on track to finish next year around October. So I have done quite a few pages in here, but still plenty of pages left to go. And I just love this book. If I could only have one Morgan O'Brien book, it would be this one. I think once this book's finished though, at the moment I would replace it with the cookbook one, because I just love that. I love colouring food and I really like the theme of that book, but for now it's this one. I like how you have different seasons represented. You've got different countries around the world. I love a book that travels through different countries. I think that's really fun. And lots of different animals as well. Lots of bright colours. And just a book that's full of fun. I could colour this book all over again and use completely different colours and it would be just as fun. So that's the book that I would choose from Morgan O'Brien, Matchstick Mouse, A Big Adventure. Then from the Scholastic colouring book series, I had to pick Capybara Cuties, another one of my project books. And yeah, this was the first book I got from this series and made me fall in love with it. There's just something so cute and fun about colouring these capybaras with different outfits, different scenes, and not scenes, different themes on the pages. Some seasonal ones, some which aren't necessarily seasonal specific, but all lots of fun to colour. Don't take too long at all. And I do love every single page in here, and I would colour every single page. And the fact that you can change up the colours for your capybaras, and that gives it a bit of variety. I think the only thing I would say about this book that would make it even better if it had different animals on the page. So maybe some were themed to mice, some had a page of cats, some capybaras, some all foxes. Just having a little bit more variety with animals, but the capybaras are so cute, so what's not to love? Yeah, I've been really enjoying colouring it the past couple of months as the project book with Amanda ALLJ Art and Emma colouring. Oh, Christmas one. So yeah, this is a book that you can colour all throughout the year. Lots of great seasonal pages. Yeah, that is the book that I would pick from the Scholastic colouring book series, the Capybaras Cuties colouring books by Rob Parkinson. Next is Stratton Peterson. The one I picked was Mystic Animals. I love colouring animals, and I like colouring lots of different animals. And I would love to colour every single page in this book. I like how the animals are the focus, but you've also got lots of plants and foliage and flowers and other little objects surrounding them to make them a little bit more interesting to colour. And a lot of them have black backgrounds, which I do actually really like. It makes it a lot simpler when it comes to colouring, but some you do have the creativity there to add your own backgrounds. And yeah, I love every single page in this book. I'd love to see it completed one day. I do really love the language of flowers, but if I had to pick one over the other, it's going to be animals over flowers every day. I just think animals are slightly more interesting to colour than flowers, but that's just my opinion. Yeah. I kind of want to focus on colouring a few more pages in this book next year, and really looking forward to that. Seeing this book fill up the colour. It was my first book by Stratton Peterson, and if I was to start the collection again, I would pick this one again. Oh, skip the page, because I just absolutely adore it. And a lot of pages in it as well. So that is the book I'd pick from Stratton Peterson, Mystic Animals. The next artist is Kerby Rosanes. Again, another easy pick for me, because this is by far my favourite book from Kerby. It's Dark Fairy Tales, brand new colouring book. I love the fairy tales theme. I want to colour every single page in this book. There's not a page that I don't want to colour. And you've got double page spreads, 2 single pages, but they feature the same fairy tale. And you can make them bright and colourful, dark and moody. The dark theme of this book is really well done. Like, it's Kerby's signature style. Just that kind of creepy factor brought in, which I really, really love. But, I mean, I say this was an easy pick. I would miss my other Kerby books though. I'd really miss Fragile World and Worlds Within Worlds, as they are equally gorgeous books. I'd really miss Mythomorphia. I've really enjoyed colouring in that, and Mythic World. But if I had to pick just one, it would definitely be this. I would be satisfied just having this from Kerby. I'm feeling I might be in the minority with this in terms of my favourite one. I think other people prefer his Mythical Creatures, Mythomorphia, Mythic World, or Fragile World with the animals. But I love this one. I love a fairy tale theme, and this is so different and unique within that fairy tale genre. I just can't wait to colour more pages in this book over the years. That is the book I'd pick from Kerby Rosanes, Dark Fairy Tales. The next artist I have is Jia Jin, another tricky pick, but I picked the Midwinter Sunshine book. No, it's not called Midwinter Sunshine, it's called Midsummer Relaxation. It's the summer themed one. And this surprised me because I really had no idea which I'd pick as my favourite, or the one book that I would choose over all the others. Because I do love the autumn one, but it's all themed to cats. Whereas this one has lots of different animals in it. I do love the spring one, but I think when I was flipping through, I was captivated by more pages in this one than I was the spring one. I just love the bright, fun colour palettes in this book. And even though it's a kind of summery themed book, I would colour some of these any time of year. Like, I could colour that any time of year. And the bees. I think it was the colours in this book that I just especially loved. So many bright, fun and different colours and colour palettes in here. There was only one where I was sure it wasn't going to be that one. It's the winter one, because winter's always my least favourite. But the others, depending on the day, I could have picked a different one. Ask me in a week's time, I could pick the autumn one. Ask me in a month's time, I could pick the spring one. But at the moment, this was the one that I would pick if I could only pick one, by Jia Jin. That is the Midsummer Relaxation book. Next artist I have is Sugumi, and this was an easy pick for me. It's the Mysterious Journey colouring book. I do love the 4 Seasons book, and you know me, I like a book that goes through the 4 seasons. But this one has a lot more detail in the pages, whereas the 4 Seasons has a lot of big open spaces to colour, whereas this one's got a lot more going on, which for me, that just makes it a little bit more fun and interesting to colour. And this is actually the only one that I have coloured in so far. But it does have some seasonal pages in here, like this is a nice summery one that I did. But you got the different themes, like that was the food theme, this is the travel theme, which is really fun with some nice seasonal pages within this travel section. And just a really great variety of pages. Again, variety. I love my variety. And then we have the jobs theme, like different occupations, and they're the cutest little jobs you've ever seen, and really unique ones as well, and all with lots of different animals. Definitely need to colour more in this book for sure. because they are absolutely adorable. And then the final theme in this book is kind of like wellness or relaxation kind of thing. There are some stunning ones here. Lots of great lighting effects in this book that can really help you with your colouring skills. Having those reference images next to you. Yeah, this is definitely the book that I would pick if I could only pick one from Tsugumi, and that is the Mysterious Journey colouring book. Next artist is Sarah Shevchik, and I have to pick the second one actually, the one that has just been released, Spooky Colouring Adventures of Witch Cat. There's just something about this book that I love a little bit more, and I think it's because she's going on an adventure, she's travelling through these different portals. There's a little bit more variety in this book than the first book. The first book was very home central, whereas this one has so much different sceneries going on. I think the quality of line work is just a little bit more detailed, a little bit more refined compared to the first book, which I really, really love. I like how you've got this little story going through. I mean, the first one does as well, but this one has more of a story to it. Great variety of pages with big full page scenes like this one, smaller characters, but you can really focus on the character colouring. And still lots of little jars, but they're more scattered around the book of this one. They tend to be all together in the first book. But if I were to pick one out of the two at the moment, it would be this one, even though I haven't coloured in it just yet. I am wanting to colour in it very, very soon. Maybe I'll have to do it on a stream to motivate me. But that is the book that I'd picked by Sarah Shevchik, Spooky Colouring Adventures of Witch Cat. The next artist I have is Miki Takai, and the book I picked was the second Colours Make You Happy book, the blue cover. Let me just get to the point where we have the colouring pages. And I picked this one because one of this fairy tale section at the front, I just love all of them. And to the third one, it's the kind of orangey yellow colour. It's got a few kind of religious pages in there, which just isn't for me, not my style. There's a few pages in there which I just have no interest in colouring. I'm not so much a fan of the wallpaper pages in here, but I would colour it. I do think it's cute. There's just way more in this book that I'd love to colour. I could complete it easily. This is the only page I've done so far. And then the third reason I picked this book is for the zodiac section at the back. So I love my fairy tale theme and I love my zodiac theme. And this goes through all the different star signs. And they are such lovely pages to colour. So yeah, the two Miki Takai books I have, this is the one that I would pick. Colours Make You Happy, Volume 2. Next artist is Vivy Tint, another cute and cozy book illustrator, and the one I picked, again, fairy tales themed, is Fuzzy Tales. Although now I've got more cute and cozy books in my collection, I feel less drawn to Vivy Tint's style. It's less detailed, but I do love the fairy tale theme, and the pages I've coloured in here I've really enjoyed. I think it lends itself to pretty pastel colour palettes like this. So cute. And I've done this one for the Frog Prince. Yeah, not too many in here which are specifically themed to an actual specific fairy tale, but enough to spark my interest, that's for sure. I've got Little Mermaid there, Rapunzel, Cinderella, could be Beauty and the Beast, Red Riding Hood. Yeah, I just love a fairy tale theme, it's simple. And this would be the one book from Vivy Tint that I'd definitely want in my collection. Hansel and Gretel there, so cute. It's quite a few pages like this which aren't the full bordered scenes, and I do like the smaller ones. But that is it. And the book that I would pick from Vivy Tint, Fuzzy Tales. Then I've got the Tokimeku series, and it has to be Wild Mouse Yuriri. I just love this book. It's one I'd love to complete one day. I was tempted to be cheeky and pick Mikiko Inotome and then also the Tokimeku series as a whole, but I decided to just pick this one, as this would be the one Tokimeku book that I would want in my collection, because I love it. It goes through the 4 seasons, it follows an adorable mouse, but also contains some other animals throughout. A great variety of pages in terms of detail. Some single, some double, some small victory, like illustration pages like these. And for once, I don't hate the kind of small image pages like this one, because it fits the theme of the book. These are the sketches that the mouse is making in his sketchbook, and I just love that. It makes me want to colour them because it's just so cute. Yeah, if I could only have one, it would be this one, for sure. It has been my favourite ever since I first saw it, ever since I got it in my collection, and it's been maintained as my favourite, even with all the other ones that I've got. So that is the book I'd pick from the Tokimeku series, the Wild Mouse Yuriri's Journey Sketchbook. Then I've got Maria Troll, and a book I would pick isn't my favourite actually, but I would pick Universe. I think this is one of the best compilation books out there. I think they've picked a really great selection of images from her books, and the exclusive images in this book are so lovely, like some of my favourite Maria Troll pages that she's ever illustrated. So if I could only have one, it would be this compilation book, because then it's kind of like you've got 6 books in one. My favourite from hers is Sargon, the Fairy Tale Worlds book. And it was very, very hard to not pick that one, but I had to pick this one for Maria Troll, just because of the great variety of pages from all of her different books throughout the years. It's not all of them, it's up until, so it's Twilight Garden, Flora, Nightfall, Botanicum, Luna, and Moon Valley. Oh, and Vivy is Looking for a Friend, or Droomrice, I don't know how to say it. And then you've got the exclusive ones as well. So it hasn't got Moon Valley or the newer ones. Not Moon Valley, it hasn't got Shooting Star or Sargon, the newer ones. Yeah, I think if anyone's starting with Maria Troll, this is the book to start with. You can identify your favourite pages from specific books and then maybe get the whole book of that. I just love this one, and it's got a large amount of pages in it as well. When we get to the end, I mean, it's 90 pages-ish, just over 90 pages. That is the book I'd pick from Maria Troll, and that is Universe. Next artist I have is Yusiku, and I would pick Year of Witches. In all honesty, if I started my colouring book collection now and could only pick one, it would be Life of Witches, which is a compilation book of all 3 of her witches books, because I love these witches. I love them. I wish Yusiku did some more books from her, created some more books, because we haven't had any for quite a while, and I love these witches. I'd love to see them again. I have done a fair few in here. It was a project book for a little while for me, but this goes through the 4 seasons of the year, and that's why I picked it as my one book. I do prefer the slightly thicker outlines in Witches Around, but in terms of like the actual pages, it's this one, Year of Witches, that I just absolutely love. And I do want to colour every single page in here, and eventually one day I might. Got that as a whip. There we go, that is the book that I would pick by Yusiku, The Year of Witches. Then I have Gabby Wolf. I've only actually got 2 books by Gabby Wolf. She's done a bunch. But the book I'd pick is Mini Mania Volume 2. And it was just, it was hard deciding between Volume 1 and Volume 2, which is all I have. But flipping through, I was like, I think I do prefer the more detailed pages that you've got in Volume 2. I feel like there's fewer, simpler pages in here. I like all the detail and all the bits going on, and the really fun scenes you have with the different bunny characters. Yeah, I just felt more drawn to this one. I have coloured this in the second set of images. But maybe I've seen too much of Mini Mania 1 because I did a full book colour along for it and I got a bit sick of it, of colouring in it, and maybe that's why I'd pick this one over that one, but they're both lovely books. Just at the moment, this is the one I pick. Yeah, I'll just show you the page I've coloured. It's not my favourite page I've ever coloured, but it's done. So that is the book I picked by Gabby Wolf, Mini Mania Volume 2. Okay, then the last few books I have are all my Disney books, where I have multiple books by the same illustrator, just because I thought that would be fun. And first up is, oh, who's this by? William Ball. And I had to pick Vitro Tome 2. I'm just going to give you quick flips of the solutions here, because these are big books. And this video has been going on long already. I love this book. It's my favourite, probably, from all of the Disney Colour by Numbers. I love how many movies are represented in this book. I love the style of the stained glass images. I just think this book is fantastic and definitely my favourite from William Ball. You can see all the other books that he has illustrated or created here. I've got Seasons and Nature, and yeah. Vitro Tome 2 is by far my favourite from William Ball. Then next one is Tracy D'Souza. I think it should come as no surprise that I picked Une année de coloriage. If I had to pick just one Disney book, it would be this one. I flipped it a lot on my channel recently, so I'm just going to give a quick flip because it's a big, big book, 53 double pages. And it goes through almost every movie from Disney that you could imagine. And I absolutely adore it. If I could just pick one Disney book, it would be this one, because of the pure amount of hours and colouring fun you could have in here. I love all the composition of the pages. There's a really great focus on the characters, which I love. And an amazing variety of illustrations in this one. So that is the book I would pick from Tracy D'Souza. It was hard resisting picking the Disneyland Paris book, but I picked this one, Une année de coloriage. Then I have Family, and this is the one I would pick from Alexandra Karam. And again, I'll just give you a flip through of the solutions here. I just think this one has the perfect level of detail. Great, bright, fun pictures. Lots of movies represented. And is a great book. Great colour by number book to have in your collection. This one doesn't have the flap which shows you all of his other previous coloured books, but he did love stories. He's worked with Jeremy Mariez to illustrate some other books, but I just picked the single one. So that's Family, the one I'd pick from Alexandra Karam. Then the book I'd pick from Jeremy Mariez is Les Grands Classiques Tome 11. It was between this one and Princesses Tome 2, but I picked this one for the variety. Because even though I love the illustrations in Princesses Tome 2, it's all the same 14 princesses, so it gets a little repetitive, but they are stunning. It was a very, very close decision, but I picked this one because you've got so many different movies represented in that one. So that's the book I'd pick from Jeremy Mariez, Le Grand Classique Tome 11. And the final artist is Capucine Sauvignon, and it has to be Petit Poupée. I'll give you a full flip of this one very quickly. And the other books that Capucine has done is the colour by number Petit Poupée, as well as the bookmarks. and so I had to pick the full original book as the one that I would have from Capucine. It's so cute, it's so stunning, and will definitely be up there in all of my Disney books that I would pick out of all of them. I was tempted to go, oh, which one colour by number would I have? Which one of these large squares would I have? But I thought I'd go by artist, as you do have a nice selection of artists. Sorry, Lexi is scratching at the door. There she is, you can hear her in the background, making one last appearance for the video. Yeah, love all the characters in this book, love the scenes they're in. I've got a few whips going on. Oh, can't flip. And yeah, definitely my favourite from Capucine Sauvignon is this book, Petit Poupée. And that is it for this video. Ooh, that was a long one with my very quick flips of each of the different books. But thank you so much for joining and watching the whole way through. Really appreciate it. If anyone on the YouTube colouring community would like to also do this video where you go through which book you would pick by each of the illustrators in your collection, I'd love to see it. Make sure to tag me, and definitely tag and credit Amanda at Amanda88 for coming up with this amazing video idea. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below as always. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.